So somebody asked what my opinion of Trials is so far. I honestly am liking it. I know a lot of people are hating it right now, but I am genuinely liking it. You got to keep in mind the best thing for Trials is a big player population. That is your number one goal. Nothing else matters more than a healthy big player population, and anything that dwindles that is going to make it a bad experience for whoever decides to stay. There's always going to be a bottom. There's going to be the top, and there's always going to be the bottom. And every time somebody leaves from the bottom, then that makes somebody else the bottom. And then they leave because they're the bottom, that makes somebody else the bottom. Then they leave because they're the bottom, and then that. So you want people to want to play. And if this is what it takes to get a lot of people to play, then you need to be okay with that. And if you're so upset that once you go flawless, then you are then playing insanely sweaty other flawless players, now you know why the player population has been so low for so long, and why people don't want to play, because that's what they hate and that's what they're used to. So what's going on is all the people that are complaining are like, oh, I have to play flawless players. Yeah, well, welcome to Trials, last year, a couple weeks ago. That's how it was. All you're doing is adding a step before that does make it easier for people. It's easier than it's ever been, and that's okay, because after that you can keep playing, you can keep trying to go flawless. The competitiveness is still there, but it allows more people to play and more people to want to play. There's always going to be really good players and there's always going to be really bad players, and if you cater to one or the other, you're going to lose the other. So you got to find a way in a video game, in all video games, to try to appeal to all of them in some way. And this is the way Bungie is trying to do that. Thing is I've been wanting to do this for so long and just haven't had people to do it with. And now with these changes to Trials, and this is not discounting Penn or Average or Chris, I know you guys have helped me, but I mean, like, I've been, if they're not around or if they're not able to do it, then I'm not able to do it. Now, for the first time ever in Trials, even if nobody is available, I'm able to jump in there. Even if it's just me and somebody else, we're able to jump in there. There's literally, the reason for not playing is taken away. And that's what excites me so much. Because, like right now, you guys, it's late for Kronos, and you guys don't want to play, so I'm going to jump in there solo. That's awesome. That is an awesome thing, to be able to do that and still have a chance to go flawless. Again, to all the people that are mad that they're going against flawless players, let me ask you, like, what does it matter if you've been flawless 100 times or 200 times? What's the difference? You get the gun when you go flawless, and now Saint he's been changed. Because of all this, he's been changed to where you can go visit Saint and you can get different roles. If you farmed flawless for different roles of a gun, well, now you can do that here. Now you can get your different roles after you've gone to the lighthouse. And is it an ego thing? Do you need that 537th flawless? Is that why you're upset about it? I think it's a good thing. I think it's anything that makes more people want to play the game. That's what I am for. That's what I've always been for. Everything I've ever tried to bring up as a problem in this game is because it makes people not want to play it. And this is something that is making people want to play it. Now, that being said, here are my problems. Solo players being put against teams is stupid as I don't know why that was even allowed in the first place. But they will fix that with freelance. There is now a quit out penalty. I think it should be longer, but at least it's there. It reminds me of how Trials used to be back in D1. And it also shows how incredibly unbalanced that game can be when you do have a sweaty team running sweaty loadouts. More than any game I've ever played, you see it with Arc Souls. The ability to stack like one thing that is mediocre, stack it 3 times, and then it becomes super powerful. The same goes for players, right? And so I feel like this is good for the game. I feel like this is good for trials. If it gets people playing more. Once you go flawless, it's insanely hard. I think they will fix that. I think they will find a way. Right now, I think they're just lumping everybody together and anything goes. And they can fix that. But I am all for the changes that they did for this. And I know a lot of people are. And I think it's always, video games is always a matter of, well, it's only okay if I do it, or it's only okay if I like it, or something like that. You need to pull yourself back and think of what's good for the game as a whole, and what's good for all players as a whole, not just the sweaties, not just the lifers, not just the flawless, but also the casuals. I don't think they should water down the game. I think trials should be end game content. Part of me doesn't like that a bunch of quick play people, casuals, are going over there and not trying. It still needs to be competitive. If you go to trials, try your hardest. You don't have to be a god, but at least try your hardest to be the best teammate you can possibly be. But I'm for it. I think it's a place that needs a lot of adjustments. This is just a first step. They're coming out with freelance. They're probably going to work with the flawless pool a little bit more. And let me say this. I understand why they're doing it, okay? But I am 100% against fixed matchmaking, rigging matchmaking. I don't like it. I get why they're doing it. This goes back to everybody thought I was lying when I talked about 50% win-loss ratio. They're like, that's not in the game. And now all of a sudden, Bungie comes out and says, hey, if you start losing, don't worry. We'll make your matches easier so that you can kind of get that motivation back so that you can keep playing. But it won't last forever, and it won't happen on Game 7. I don't like that. I don't like when a game is rigged, because the opposite can happen. And you see that. Check your trials report. Check your Destiny tracker report. And watch to see you start doing good, and then you're thrown this game you're supposed to lose. I don't like that. I never will like that. I think if somebody were to go to the casino and the slot machine on it said, this game you will lose the next 50 tries in this game, do you think anybody would play it?
Nope.
Even if it said you will lose the next 10, do you think anybody would play it? No. Like when you feel like the game is rigged, one way or another, easy or bad, then it loses. That's your free will taken from you. Feels like you don't have a chance. And Destiny matchmaking is rigged. A lot of video games rig their matchmaking, whether it's 50%, whether it's 50% win-loss ratio, or whether it's skill-based, connection-based, whatever. I wish it was, I wouldn't say a true RNG, but the goal of good matchmaking is that you don't notice that sometimes you don't have a chance. You shouldn't be able to, well, like I say in Iron Banner all the time, right? Well, I've won 5 games. Here comes the losing streak, right? Everybody knows that experience. And we'll see how much that impacts trials. It's all a work in progress. I'm against rigged matchmaking of any kind. I understand the need for it sometimes, but I don't like that feeling of knowing that, you know what, even your card says special rewards on games 3, 5, and 7, right? It's because everybody knows game 4, you are in for a sweat fest, right? Most people lose their game 4, sometimes even a game 3. But I think this is a good thing. Me, the person that criticizes a lot, I think this is a good thing. If it's good for the game, and if it's good for the players, and it makes people want to play, that is always 100% of the time a good thing. At the same time, don't make it too easy. It should be something that, like what we've done all day today, it's been tough. But we've been learning. You grow, you get better. That's the whole point of trials. It's the pinnacle, right? You can't water it down to where it's just quick play or just comp. It needs to be a skill level where you rise and you get better. And I really wish Destiny had a better ranking system. Like Apex, you go bronze, then you go silver. You work your way up and you play against people in your grouping. And other games have ranked modes where you work your way up the ladder. I wish Destiny, I know they have their own elo, their own type of ranking, but I wish it was more visible, a better system in place. I wish Trials, my biggest problem with Trials is resetting the card. I hate that. I think it's a dumb mechanic. I wish they would go to a function where when you lose, you don't have to start the card over. If you lose, you get a win taken away. Very, very simple. You never reset the card. Resetting the card to me is the biggest buzzkill because you start over and you're just treading water, and I hate that. I absolutely hate that. If we get 5 wins and then we go on a 3-game losing streak, bump us back down to 2 wins. At least we're not resetting and starting over. And then that way people feel like no matter what, they're making progress. But I don't know if that'll ever happen. For all those out there that are wondering, my opinion, I think it's a good thing. I know people are really, really complaining. But no matter what Bungie does, there will always be people that are complaining about it or don't like it for one reason or another. Sometimes that's me. Sometimes that's you. Sometimes that's somebody else. And I really hope that they do what's best for the game.
Right.
But I think it's good. I'm for it. Look at that, chat. An unbiased opinion. For all you people out there that say all I do is complain, look at me. Look at me not complaining and actually approving of something. Go buy
Where's
a lottery
BA? What have you
ticket.
done with him?
I know.